Welcome back to This is Learning Left-Handed. This is episode 16. I can't believe it, guys, that we are still doing this. People are still listening to me. Thank you all so much for having a listen. Today we have two great parts for you. Today we have money making apps, which is just various apps that I have found and various websites that will just makes life a little easier. You can make a little money by doing surveys, selling, watching videos. There's a little bit of everything on these, so definitely check out a few of them. And remember, you can always pause it and replay it, so if you can't hear it the first time, or you want to write it down or just try it out, you know what to do. Let's begin with money making apps. The first one is called iBotter. It's supposed to be very good. Check that one out. The next one is called Beverage. Basically, it's just worth checking out. All of these worth checking out. I'm just going to go through them really quickly, and you guys can check them out. The next is called MobiSave. Number 4 is Checkout 51. Number 5 is called Berry Cart. Number 6 is called Saving Star. 7 is called Yarlo, and that's with 2 A's, so YAARLO. Number 8 is called Snapstar. Number 9 and 10 are two of Receipts, which is Receipt Pal and Receipt Hog. Number 11 is called Punch Card. Number 12 is one of the bigger ones. It's called Shopium. Then you have Swag Butts, that one of the most biggest out there. Been using for surveys for I think about 5 years at least now. Number 14, Cash Pirate. Basically, does what it says on the tin. 15, Ebate. 16, Be Frugal. It's a saving app. 17, Shop at Homes. Does what it says on the tin. 18 is Extra Bucks, check that out, that's BUX at the end. 19 is a place called Jet. Number 20 is called Gift Hulk. Number 21 is Spare 5. Number 22 is YouGov. I've been told that you can make some money on there, not exactly sure how, but I was asked to put it on here, so there you go, have a look at that. Number 23, Point Club. Is where you get points for doing various things. 24, Nice Quest. I've been told it's worth checking that one out. Number 25 is My Soapbox. It's a place where you can shout about as if you were having a normal standing on a soapbox. Number 26, My Survey. Basically, you do surveys and get money for either PayPal or Amazon cards. That is what I've been told. Number 27, Easy Shift. You pick up shifts anywhere apparently. 28, Taluna Opinions. It's supposed to be very good, but you have to be rather opinionated. So, just think about that next time you do it. Number 29, Quick Thoughts. I've been told that's very good as well. 30 is Ipsos. It's supposed to be the best one in this list, so I've been told by my very nice researchers. So go and have a check out for that. The next two are about your own opinions, just like a couple that we've had before. They are Valued Opinions and Google Opinions. Number 33, we have Inbox Dollars. That's the next one on this list. Then we have Earning Station at 34, Shopkick at 35, Cash Crate at 36, Click Worker at 37, GigWalt at 38, and finally Field Agent at 39. These are not in order. These are just in order of discovery from me and the team. Hope you've enjoyed part 1. Part 2 will be up right now. And now we have our next part, TikTok Part 5. These are a series of tricks and tips that I have found all across TikTok. And some of them have been sent by you, so thank you, lovely public, for sending them. Today we're going to start off with Celsius. It's a place that pays you to store your crypto. I know not many people still have crypto after the great crash, but for those who still do, go to Celsius and it pays you to keep it there. Same way a bank does. Number 91. These are going to be a series of little helpful websites that we have discovered this week. I hope you like them. This one is called autodraw.com. It predicts what you are drawing, which is quite cool. Then we have Canva, which is KAMVA.com. It's a video editing app. And it also generates captions and it's brilliant for turning horizontal vids into vertical ones, because you know that how difficult it is to make everyone turn their phone to watch a vid horizontally. So everyone tries to get it vertical to make life easier. Think about that next time you're walking with your phone. Next we have Rosebud AI, and apparently it brings your art to life. That is what I've been told by my lovely and very helpful researchers, so go and have a check out of that. Next we have Lalal AI, which is Lal, which is a music stripper which separates the person singing and the instruments behind it. Very helpful. Then you have utopia.io. It's a website for making money. I've been told it's very good, so go and check that out as well. After that we have Designerify, which makes exceptional product photos. And finally, for this point, you have socialstudio.ai, which is basically AI for your Instagram content. I know not many of you need that, but some small part of the community would appreciate it, so I hope you enjoy it. Next, we have this other website that invests in the top 100 cryptos at once. It's called CoinMarketCap, and it's usually the most recently added or most visited out there. They grab all of the crypto that they can and then buy it. That's basically what they do. So you're basically buying a share in all of their buying. Okay, the next one. We have digitaldefynd.com, and that's spelt digitaldefynd.com, which gives you some amazing online courses for free. Two of our researchers are doing various courses on there at the moment. Highly recommend you check that out. Now, this is more of a thing that I have seen people do, which is basically so they have a bit more presence in the part of the economic part that they're in. So say they're a copywriter, they would only talk to copywriters on this thing. But this is doing your $1.80. So basically, you choose 9. You find the top 10 hashtags in your niche, and then the 9 top posts, and you give your opinion. But you have to give an opinion of value on each post. It's something that Gary V invented. It's worth doing. That way, you get noticed. You get it defined as someone who knows what they're doing within the space, and you should really try and do this as much as possible. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Okay, this one is more of a relaxed one. This is for your next Netflix codes. So that way it puts instead of having to search a word, you put in one of these codes and it comes up with a selection of different movies based on this code. For example, this one, the first one, 10118, it shows you all the comic book and superhero movies, which is very popular nowadays. So instead of having to put superhero movies, you just put 10118 in. Next you have 75930, which is werewolf horror movies. So most werewolf movies, I'd assume. This is for those lovey-dovey people who are in Coupledon, want to watch rubbish movies, in my opinion, which is 36103, which is your quirky romance movies. After that you have 10271, which is for jazz and easy listening, still quite good. This is for the certain people who like Korean movies, which is 5695. So anyway, you put any of those codes in and you will get that set of movies based on that. Next, this is for all the students out there, which is apparently a good chunk of you. It's called techlacarte.net. It basically shows you how to save money as a student. Check that out. Now, these next 3 things are not to do with tech and outside of my copywriting remit, but I've been asked to put them in. This is the 3-point formula for dating. The first, you have to have aesthetic optimization, aka you look your best. So you have your hair cut every 4 weeks. You don't shave daily. You build your body. You optimize your style. Second point, high value positioning. Get a better job. Keep building. Go further. Go far higher. And then finally, you have your most important thing, which we cannot stress enough, and it's very difficult, and it's not exactly something I'm going to say, go and get it, because no one can just get it like that. And that is confidence. Plus good conversation equals easy dating. Just do it. It'll go amazing. Next, we have Some just amazing, attractively simple things. So these simple things that female researchers have said that they love about their boyfriends. First things first, have rolled up sleeves. Because everybody loves rolled up sleeves. It's better to be bald than have a receding hairline. Have good posture. Smile, but not in a schwammy, horrible way. Do a kind smile. A smile that says to the person looking at you, hey, you look cute. That type of smile, but not in a schwammy way. After that, be calm, but know how to enjoy yourself. Don't be stuck in the little calm box. Enjoy everything. That's what I say. Oh, and by the way, this one's quite obvious. I've seen lots of guys at the moment with nails longer than their girlfriends. Trim them. It's not something difficult to understand. They literally can go to Lidl and buy a nice nail grooming kit for £5. Seriously, keep your eye out. It's not bad. Now the next one. These are for all the people that, I'm buying this for when I'm going to lose weight. These people. Buy clothes that fit you. It's better to have a t-shirt that's XXL that fits you instead of having one that's XL and that's so tight you can't breathe in it. Do that. And finally, learn a few jokes. Always have a few jokes in the background because being funny is still a very worthwhile skill. Okay, and the final point for today, this is sort of a little life hack that a friend of mine has discovered for networking. Basically, when you create a LinkedIn profile, for those who are not very good at doing it, I suggest you go and find someone called Wendy Javier. She's made a great one, and copy and paste it because it works for you. Then you put in your experience, and then I want you to search for a recruiter, and then go into people, and then second, and then Google. Click connect and add a note like, hello, I'm writing to introduce myself and learn more about to adapt to the work you're doing. I'm currently freelance copywriting and to grow my skill set in a smaller, high impact environment. Would be great to chat more. John. That's all you got to say to several different people. Some of them will come back to you, and then bing bang boom, you're going to get another job or a better job, which you will need if you look back to our last point. Now, I hope you've enjoyed today's post. Please go and listen to some of the other ones if you haven't already, and even if you have, listen to them again. I'm sure you'll find something you can't remember. And thank you. And as always, this has been Learning Left-Handed. Hello and welcome back to Learning Left-Handed. This is our 17th episode. Isn't it amazing? Today we're going to talk about different ways and different apps that creative people basically just turn their creativeness on. And if you don't think you're creative, maybe you just haven't used one of these before, or several of them, because I'm sure the creatives out there listening to this probably use every single one on this list in some form or another. Okay, so let's start this list off with an app called Brain Sparker. I've been told it's very, very good for what it does. Go and check that out. Another one is Simple Mind, also very good. Check that one out as well. The next we have TED Talks. Everybody loves a TED Talk. There's various, and I mean various things to listen to. Definitely worth checking that out. Then we have Confitivity, which is another great app, so I've been told. These next ones are suggested by one of our writers here, called Unstuck, Curator, Adobe XD, and Lingo. Lingo is a language app to learn, and it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes a day, so definitely worth checking that out. Next we have an app called Bears, then the next one called Sketchbook Pro, which is obviously about drawing and sketching on your computer, worth doing. Then you have a weirder one called Bleck. This was recommended by one of our writers, and he explained it to us about 3 or 4 times and we didn't understand what it actually was, so go and check that one out. Next we have Ideament, Notability, Paper and Bamboo Paper, all great things to look into. The Photoshop Mix, definitely worth checking into that as well. Pantone Studio, Affinity Photo, and Brusheezy, which sounds like I should do it in a funny accent, but I will not. Next list, there's the same part. This is part 2 of the same list. Tayasui Sketches, another sketch place, very interesting to go and look into that. Then you have Visco, Inkflow, and Brainwave. Those are the three recommended by a close personal friend of mine, so big shout out to you know who. Then we have Behance, very good to look into. Murally, now this one is supposed to be help for your focus or help your mind flow a little, so I've been told. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. Next you have Brushes Redux, which is another painting one which is quite good. Then we have Procreate, which is another a very helpful thing for creators, so go and have a look at that. Then we have Dribble, which apparently has 3 B's in it, so have a look at that as well. So I've been told it's very helpful for creative people. Then you have the classic of Instagram. Everyone has the gram. Well, now people are just going straight to TikTok, so I don't know if people have the gram anymore, but loads of things on there. Then you have Layout, which is also very great. Boomerang, I've been told very useful, if not slightly buggy at times. Then you have a game which a lot of people play across the world, so I've been told it's the most played game on earth, Minecraft, just because you can literally create anything that you can put your mind to. Next you have Big Brain Academies, helping your mind stay active. Pinterest, basically, well, it's where a lot of creative people I know post most of their stuff, so definitely get your eye out on there. Filmic Pro, another great thing. Exify, another great thing. ClearTodos, which is another one that I've been told is very good. Terraria, another game. It was a rival to Minecraft about 5 years ago, then it sort of died. Then you have Scribblenauts. This is another game I've been told it's worth trying. Go and have a look at that. SimCity, you gotta love SimCity. Everyone has played that at some point in their childhood. After that you have Tetris, one of the oldest games, and was former #1 until Minecraft dethroned it, but only just. So definitely worth having a look at that. Oh yeah, Snapchat. Everyone has Snapchat. I don't understand why this is on a creativity list, but hey, if it helps you writers, whichever one of you it is, brilliant. You have Brainstormer, does what it says on the tin, great for helping your brainstorm. There's literally a place called Creative Ideas. People who ever thought of that name need a bit of help, because that's not very creative at all. Then you have Splice, which is quite good, so I've been told. Hipstermatic, not entirely sure this one was, don't know why it's on the list, but go and have a look at it anyway. I'm sure it's brilliant. We don't say put bad things on this list. We have Cinematic, which is also another great app. Camera 51, it's quite good, definitely worth checking that one out. Pixelmator, I think that's to do with creating pixel games, right? Yeah, go and have a look at that. Camera Plus, another great photo thing. Enlight, Loop, and Assembly, all recommended by a lovely group of people who send us some work every once in a while, all the way from Toledo. Thank you very much. Drawpad Poe, and last one, Idio Method Card. This one was a blind send-in from one, or basically it means that we don't know who sent it. Someone just sent it in after we were discussing what it was about. It's generally one of the siblings of our writers, because they like to help out every once in a while, but don't like to be talked about. This is part 1. Hope you've enjoyed creativity-inducing apps for creative thinkers. A lot of people have been requesting some equivalent of this, so I'm glad you liked it. And now we have our second part and last part of YouTube channels for learning languages. The first one was on episode 15, where we were talking about Japanese, Chinese and Korean. Now, you guys have got on to me saying, well Lewis, what if I wanted to learn a language that's a bit closer to home, considering most of us are from Europe? That's a fair enough thing. So we have scavenged around the internet and found several different people who teach different people on YouTube, basically how to speak different languages completely free. Just remember that, F-R-E-E, free. So, can have a look at these. Let's start off with Spanish, a language that is one of the top in the world. Apparently it's in the top 5 most spoken languages on earth. So definitely worth checking into that. The 4 that we have on here today are Señor Jordan, Butterfly Spanish, Spanish Sessions and Agustín Hidroella. The last one is spelt Iruela, but I'm sure if you put his name however you think it's spelled, YouTube will be like, do you mean this? And then find it for you. Next, this is a French one. Wow, 6. Good for you, writers. I know you like listening to me when I say that, but good for you. You've got 6. The first one is Learn French with Pascal. That's supposed to be the best one in this list. Then we have Alexa Polidoro. Corner French Bistro. That sounds quite nice. Hope that comes with a nice beef soup while you're working. Then the next one is Come un francese, which I assume means come learn some French. I don't know. I don't speak French. And then French from beginners to advanced. That's supposed to be quite good. And then François avec Pierre. Français avec Pierre. Definitely worth checking that one out. Those were the 6 for French. And next we have Portuguese. Give a shout out to our Brazilian followers. You are now the 5th most looked at country for this podcast. So a big shout out to you guys. First we have Street Smart Brazil. That's obviously Brazilian Portuguese. Then you have Learn Portuguese with Portuguese Pod. 101.com. That one's supposed to be quite good. And then finally the funny Brazilian Mouse Catolini. That one was recommended by one of our writers because that's what his little brother uses. So definitely give that one a look at as well. And then finally we have Italian. Loads of people are going to Italy this year. Apparently it's the most visited country in the EU this year. So we have been told. I wonder why. Anyway, Italian. You have Tom TXXYTU. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Tia Taylor. Learn Italian with Lucrezia. Doce Vita. Alberta Italiano Automatico. And then Italiano Automatico, which are the 5 different, my apologies, 6 different ones. Go and have a look at them. I hope you've enjoyed this week of Learning Left-Handed. I want to give a special shout out to my girlfriend. It's her birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday, darling. And as always, thank you for Learning Left-Handed. Welcome back to Learning Left-Handed. Today, due to a request from one of our fans who's having trouble doing some work over dinner, so he has requested on this episode of Learning Left-Handed that we talk about restaurant etiquette. So I know we both know who you are when you're out there, so I hope this helps. Welcome to part 1, restaurant etiquette. First things first, you have no phones, no keys, no purses on the table. The only thing that should be on the table is the cutlery and your hands before a meal. Second, do know where to place your napkin depending on the location you are. Some people have it on their lap, other people have it on their shirt. But obviously make sure you know the right place for that, which is on your lap. 3, always let your guest order first. 4, always dress nicely. Don't turn up there in jeans unless it's that type of company, which is fair enough because that is more and more common. As a friend of mine likes to say, it's the de-suitification of 2022. Number 5, don't return the wine. Well, that's just quite simple. Number 6, don't yell at the waiter because that guy has access to your food and who knows what he'll do to it. But let's just say I've seen many a waiter spit in other people's food, so treat them very well. Number 7, do take pics of food unless you're with a client, and that client isn't to do with that. Anyway, number 8, don't tell the sommelier, aka the wine waiter, how much you want to spend. It sets out a really bad precedent and it makes your guests think, oh, I'm only worth this much worth of wine. So just try and not do that. Okay, number 9, this is for all your sharers, reachers and grabbers out there. Don't reach across to sample your company's food unless they offer, and then they will give you a fork full of their food onto your plates. That is barely acceptable, but don't ever go, oh, I'm having that, and then choom, go in with your fork, or even worse, your knife. Definitely don't do that. Okay, number 10, this one is very difficult for a lot of introverted people, so if you're introverted, listen to this. do send back food if it's not cooked properly, if it's raw, underdone, whatever word you want to use, or overdone, because that can happen a lot. Send it back. Number 11. Order the same amount of courses as your companion. AKA, if they haven't ordered a starter, do not order a starter. I don't care if it's the nicest starter since starters begin. You can get it another time. Number 12. No, don't start a business conversation before the entree. In my personal opinion, do it while they're eating dessert, so they take you as that, oh, it's slightly naughty, but I'm glad I'm eating it. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm thinking about doing this amazing deal that you have set forth before me. So when they think back later, I said, yes, I had a good time. He spoke good business sense. He'll almost picture the chocolate cake. It's fair enough. Number 13. Don't place utensils back on the table. Once the food has arrived, they belong on the plate, unless it is a place where you have multiple courses with the same knife and fork, which is very common where I grew up in Spain. Outside of that, don't ever let them touch the table. And 14, and honestly the most obvious in this list, do remember your table manners. Do not be making loud burping, snorting, picking your nose, all of those types of things. Do not do it. Because, well, you won't be going anywhere with that type of situation, will you? Hope you've enjoyed part 1. Part 2 will be up next. Welcome back. Part 2. We have 3 parts today, but anyway, let's get back to part 2. These are small ideas for businesses for beginners. So basically we've had several emails from various people saying, team, we need to talk about this, we need some ideas. We need some ideas to start off. We've got a little bit of money saved up and we want to start a little business for ourselves, but we're not 100% sure of what we want to do yet. So, as we do, the team and I sat down and spent an hour just working out different ideas that you can do as a small idea, just a little business idea that you guys can do at home. Let's start off with something that's very popular in the moment, is starting off your own food truck. Very good ones are getting rave reviews. There's more and more popping up literally everywhere. One of the team believes there must be over 100,000 all across the world. It's getting a lot more popular than the bricks and mortar restaurant. It's a lot cheaper to run, and the people are actually doing it as a stepping stone. So they start off with a food truck, then they get some bricks and mortar places. So who knows, in 5 years time you could be saying like, hey, I've just opened our 3rd restaurant in London. We're going to invite everyone who listens to this podcast down, and I'll tell you, I hope we're still doing this podcast in 5 years. Let's continue. Next we have a coffee shop. Same as the food truck situation, but you just sell coffee instead of food. You'll probably be spending more money on milk than you will coffee, knowing most of these places, but definitely worth checking out. Apart from that, you could also be a bakery. A lot of people are ordering bakery goods to the homes at the moment, so maybe you could do that. There's definitely a lot of money in that. 4th, if you think you're good at cooking, as I assume most people think they are, you could do cooking classes. In my opinion, what you should do is start a little YouTube channel, start doing some little classes on there, and then you can start offering private ones or group ones depending on the size of your kitchen or available space. Outside of that, you could also be an ice cream man. Apparently the job is dying off, and we need ice cream. We need our 99s, we need our McFlurries. Oh, it's McDonald's, you're never going to get McFlurry anyway. My point is, we need ice cream. It's hot, it's June. Let's continue. Outside of that, you could be a product reviewer, which more and more people are becoming. Some of them are really making money doing it, some of the famous ones, but they obviously add it onto like a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel or something else like that. Outside of that, you could do home food delivery. Basically, you bring it's Meals on Wheels type of situation. Definitely a lot of money in that. Or you could do any of the Just Eat or any of the other colours of different delivery services that there are out there. Definitely worth looking into that as well. Outside of that, you could be a bookkeeper, which is a dying trade, so I've been told, since everyone is going more towards the accountant sort of side. But this is like an accountant that's on your side more than on anyone else's side. So definitely look into that. Apart from that, you could be a web designer, which is thinking out there, making some bank at the moment, and anyone can do an easy peasy course in that. And with this one, it's not so much that if you have a degree in it, it's more like this is what I can do type of thing. So honestly, anyone can do that. Same as this next one, which is digital marketing. Basically, everything that's to do with a business that is online, that is advertising, anything from reviews to product that's on to your digital store, anything that says, "Look, we're here," that's part of digital marketing. Requiring it is online, of course. Outside of that, you could do little homestay businesses. So you could be building little things or making little things to then sell off on Etsy or places like that. Definitely worth looking into that. Online tutoring. If you think you're good at maths, well, wait until you have to teach 22 kids their 7 times table. Then you'll start to worry. Anyway, online tutoring is very fun. You get to meet some great people, have lots of laughs. It's definitely worth checking that one out. Home decor. Basically, you go into people's house and say, "You know what, I think that wall should be green," and they pay you lots of money for it. I don't get how so much money can be spent on it, to be honest with you. But hey, it's on here for a reason. Outside of that, you could be a currency trader. Basically, if you can work out that the euro is going to drop tomorrow, you're going to sell all your euros and buy something else, and then vice versa if needed. Definitely worth checking that out. I'm not 100% sure how you would start off, but I assume some people like TransferWise or some people like that, you could definitely get some money in. But I think you're going to require to go big or go home with that type of thing. The next one, the most probably easiest one on this list, is the event planner. Basically, if anyone ever comes to you and say, "Look, I want a birthday party and I want this, this and this," you're going to be the guy who's going to be like, "Well, I cannot do all of this, but I can also do X, Y and Z for you." Make the party really stand out. Or any event. There's corporate event planners as well. They are definitely pulling it in as well. Definitely check that out. You could be a photographer. There's always people in need of photographers for weddings or just general random day photographers, you know. There's lots of websites out there that require, "I need a picture of the blue lily that only grows between 2 cracks in the earth in Northampton between 2 and 4 in the morning." I'm sure there's that weird person, probably called Pete, who would need you to do that. Okay, outside of that, you could do a little fast food joint. So similar to the food truck, but you do faster food instead of it being whatever you want. You just flip a few burgers type of thing. Outside of that, if you think you know someone who's a yoga teacher and needs a new space, and you can sublet a space or just rent out your garage, as I've seen loads of people rent out their garages now just for little yoga studios. Definitely do that. Now, if you like looking after animals, this next one's for you. Is doing a little pet business, and I mean you can be walking them, looking after them, bathing them, cutting their nails, and for some reason people are brushing dogs' teeth all of a sudden. Yeah, definitely check that one out. Outside of that, if you want to do the same thing but with creatures with less manners, you can be a daycare. Outside of that, you could be a content creator. Basically, anything you see on the internet that's either a video or text or a blog post, TikTok video, music, anything that requires creating, that's a content creator. Most companies are looking for them at the moment. It's definitely worth putting your nose in to do it. Okay, app development. Basically, the same thing as I've said a few other lists. There's definitely money to do in it, but you have to study up a bit at least. God knows how many hours to get it perfect. But you could do it as a work in progress, start it off for free, and then build up a little client base, see what happens. You could be a landscaper, or as well, that's called a chief landscaper. So you're not the person in the actual grass. You're saying like, you see that grass there? Yeah, that needs to be about 1/4 of an inch shorter, I think. Yeah, what do you think? Yes, I think that as well. I'm going to pay you lots of money for saying the obvious, Mr. Landscaper. Outside of that, you could do the same thing as the yoga studio, but with a dance studio, basically any space, so you can do karate in it. If you can sublet it and rent it out to some different people at the same time, boom, life's good. Now, this is a weird one, but according to one of our team, there are professional gift wrappers, aka people who wrap gifts for a living. I assume it's very seasonal work, mostly at Christmas and other holidays, but since there's birthdays all the way through the year, I'm sure you could do that as well. Outside of that, you could make your own little music studio. People are always requiring time in music studios. After that, you could do a little new idea that we've come up together. It's a little clothing boutique on wheels. So it's a clothes truck, basically. You go round and you have your little selection in there, and you push a couple of them out and set up in little stores. It's very fun for everyone. I think the idea is you've got to keep the stock rotating, which is how it gets more people excited to come and see what you want. Oh, and finally, in my opinion, the best job in the world is a travel planner. Basically, people come to you and say, I know you've been to this amazing country. We want to know everything. And you'll be like, well, I can set you up with Sebastian. He has this little tiny restaurant of 6 people. He only opens on a Thursday when the wind's blowing to the east. He serves the best nachos on earth. And then he'll book it for you. Or she'll book it for you. Or they will book it for you. Definitely worth checking out. I hope you've enjoyed part 2. Part 3 is coming up now. It's that time again, folks. Yes, it's TikTok time. Okay, basically, the first one we have today is a little quiz building platform for those people who like making quizzes. I see you people out there in pubs doing it old school on a nice piece of paper. And oh no! Beer pours all over it and it's ruined. Such a shame. So what you got to use is this quiz building platform called Involve.me. I've been told it's very good and I'll be using it next time I make a quiz. Next one. This one is How to Achieve. This is a little one written by one of our writers who wanted to put this in today. But basically you must define your goals, work out the problems, and work out why it didn't work, find a little design solution and then put it in. It's his words, not mine, but it sounds pretty good to me. I'll try that out. This one comes from another one of our writers whose great-grandmother has just died recently, so big shout out to you. But basically, the only thing she said is a little regret of the dying, is what she said, is be true to yourself, not who people want you to be, aka you be you. Definitely very powerful words. I respect that. Put that into your diary, people. Be true to yourself, not who people want you to be. Okay, next one. This is for the people who are still trying to work out how to put audio into text. There's many apps out there, but this latest one that we've heard of is tactic.io. That's TACTIQ.io. Definitely worth checking that one out. Okay. This one was written before the whole NFT crash, all of the crash that's currently happening at the moment. It's how to create and sell your own NFTs. You've got to go to niftypixels.io and then create and then connect to the Polygon mainnet and then mint and sell. I'll say that again. So you go to niftypixels.io and you create whatever drawing you want, and you've got to connect it to Polygon mainnet and then mint and sell it. Definitely worth checking it out. Who knows, you might have someone buying it. Okay, let's carry on with what we were saying. Okay, what we're going to do is little life hacks for this bit. It's basically how to get people to go to a meeting. This has worked several times for us because I have been implementing this for the last couple of weeks. I know, team, you're listening to this now and probably laughing, and I've worked out why I've been doing this. It's basically to do meetings at weird times, aka like 11:17. No one's going to forget 11:17, but they'll all forget 11, for example. So definitely check that out. Try that out. Here's a bit of little life advice from one of our writers today. So if you're worried about a solution, write everything down that you can't control and what you're worried about, and then Deal with the things you can control, aka you've worried about a solution. You write everything down, the stuff that you can control and the stuff that you can't. And then I want you to get the side that you can't, rip it off the list, and then chuck it in the bin, because it's not worth worrying about, because you cannot control it. Just worry about the things that you can control. Check that one out. Here's another background remover because everyone seems to love these guys, and people are making money out of them. So good for you. And where's our cut? We demand our cut. No, I'm just joking. Just share the podcast with other people. It's another background remover. It's called cleanup.pictures. Definitely worth checking that one out. And finally, this is a little theory we've been working on. Other people have told us it works, but it's a 20 rule theory. Basically, once you are past 20 hours of learning something, that's when you can start saying to yourself, I actually understand this. It's when the grinding, just learning sort of ends, and then you just start to improve. So you've got the base, and you're starting to build your little tower of knowledge. Very powerful words, I think those are. Anyway, thank you very much. This has been Learning Left-Handed. We've tried it to be a little longer this time. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And as always, thank you for listening to Learning Left-Handed. Welcome back to Learning Left-Handed. Today, we are recording this all the way from Croatia. Yes, I'm on holiday, but you guys know how much I enjoy doing this, so I brought my equipment over here. I'm currently staring at the beautiful beach that's in front of me. Anyway, let us begin. This is episode 19, by the way, so congratulations for you guys who have stuck out for the whole thing, and welcome to our new fans. Always looking forward for new fans. Okay, today the first thing we're going to do LinkedIn practices. Basically, these are the things that you need to do once you start your LinkedIn profile, which is a lot of people find it very difficult to do, according to our comments. So this is what you've got to start off with. These are the do's. You've got to personalise your connection requests. Don't just say, I want to connect with you. You just express a bit of thought. You explain why you like this person, why you think it'd be good that you guys should connect on LinkedIn. Second, set a professional profile picture, aka suit. I don't want to see no jeans, don't see no t-shirt, don't see if you're a creative person. You can maybe get away with it, but if not, try your best to look as professional as possible. Personalised requests for recommendations. Okay, if you recommend something, don't just say, go there. Explain why they should go there, why they should look at this, why they should do that, etc. Number 4, keep the platform professional. If you know people on there and you're talking to them on there, you will remain professional on there at all times. If they add you elsewhere, you can be slightly less professional because you've built up a rapport and you've built up a trust, a connection. So do that. Next, showcase samples of your work on there. Because basically that's what it is. It's a grown-up way of saying, oh, look what I've done. This is my latest project. Do you like it? Would you like me to do some project like that for you? Exactly. Have a nice warm welcome message that adds a lot of value to your LinkedIn profile, aka something just very warm. It's not difficult to do, and if not, just Google some examples and plagiarize them. Okay, build relationships gradually, aka don't be saying the day after you met, hey, do you want to go out for a beer? Unless they're not going to be in the country for 6 to 8 months or something like that, then fair enough. You good luck to you, but I wouldn't recommend it. Your contact list should be visible to all your connections, aka some people would love it if you're doing some work with X company, because that means, oh, if they're good enough for X company, they're good enough for my company. Put that in mind. And last of the do's, responds to messages timely, aka respond to them within an hour during your, work time. If it's 3 in the morning, obviously you will not be doing it then. Here are the don'ts. Don't send spams to your LinkedIn connections, aka, everyone knows what spam is. Don't send that. It's not the place to do it. Don't overpost on LinkedIn, aka if you're posting 5 to 10 things a day, you need to relax, take a breath, and then continue on with your day. Don't ask unknown people for recommendations, because obviously you don't know the caliber of the person you are talking with. Don't post negative comments. because that basically just puts you in the shit. Even if they say the sky is orange, you agree with it, because if not, you look like the arsehole, and nobody wants to look like the arsehole. Don't go for self-promotions on groups, aka don't say, oh hey, I'm new to this, doof. Don't do it on the group. I know you might think it's a good idea, but it just comes off looking very, very tacky. Don't send messages with exposed names or email IDs. Basically, don't send your email. Don't give it out to people, because lots of people get scammed that way on LinkedIn. So unless you truly know this person, don't do it. Never ask unknown people for endorsements. They don't know you. You don't know them. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know who they are. Or basically, you don't know anything to do with them. So I highly recommend not to do that. Okay, don't ask your connections to like your Facebook page. Well, that's quite obvious. We're trying to stay professional here, people. LinkedIn is professional. Facebook is not professional. Don't care who you're talking to. It's not professional. Don't send offending messages. Basically, don't be an arsehole, as I said before. Not very difficult to understand. And finally, keep the post that you share strictly professional. Okay, no stupid memes, no cat videos, no nothing like that. This is not the place for it. LinkedIn is the land of professionalism. Keep that in mind. I hope you've enjoyed part 1. Part 2 will be right now. Welcome back. This is part 2. This is for the people out there who decided they want to start a podcast. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how to do it. So basically, this is what I do. I get the topic of what I'm going to talk about that day, the who, the what, the how, all the W questions. I'm sure you've heard of that fault before. Then you get the format. So basically mine is a monologue style. But I've been looking for people who want to do an interview or like a Q&A or a mix. Anything that, well, gains content and that you guys will love. On the third, you've got to write a script. This takes me between 2 to 4 hours, depending on what it is, just so I know what's going on at this moment. This is version 12 of this script. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it so far. And number 4, what I'm doing now, recording the show. This can take, well, probably about 3 times as long as you would expect it to be. So however long you think it's going to be, just give yourself more time. Don't rush it, no one's in any rush at all for it. After that, you can record the intro and outro. Not many people do this anymore, but people still do it apparently. Not many, but a few do. They like adding things to it at the beginning and the end. I personally just go a bit more freestyle, and it seems to work. You guys seem to enjoy it. After that, you have to find a little graphic, the little picture. So if you're looking at this on Spotify or Google Play, Google Podcasts even, you will see that there's a nice graphic up there with Learning Left-Handed on it. You got to make one of them for each and every episode you come across. After that, you have the post-production, just double-checking everything's working well, and then you have to publish it. You can publish it anywhere, but most people do it through Spotify, seems to be the giant at the moment, followed by on iTunes, and Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeart. There is probably another 50 odd that I haven't mentioned, but all of them are worth looking into as well. And finally, you've got to promote it on social media. Personally, I do this on my Facebook page and on Instagram. I will do it on more places eventually, but for now, this is where you guys seem to find me. So thank you so much for always listening. Now here's the best practices. Your best idea is to try and get it between 20 and 22 minutes in length. Admittedly, not all podcasts would work like that. I don't think mine would work in that such a long format. Last week we tried to make it a bit longer, and it seems to be going well. So yeah, once we get into our next series, which will be in the 20s, we will start making a longer format. But for now, we are sticking to the 10-minute sort of era. It should be, the best idea is to publish on a Thursday, so okay, that's why I publish on a Thursday, and do it once a week, because that way they don't get bored of you, but they still remember who you are. A lot of the fans have told me that they look forward to Thursday just so they can listen to me on their commute, which means a heck of a lot to me, fans. Thank you so much for that. Well, I know this has been a short one this week, but I hope, as always, that you've enjoyed it, and this has been Learning Left-Handed. Hello and welcome back to Learning Left-Handed. This is number 20. It's the end of season 2, everybody, but don't worry. I'll still be back next week for episode 21, aka series 3. I hope you're really looking forward to it as much as I am. Okay, let's get into it. Today, thanks to loving requests by many people, this is slowly going higher and higher and higher in the recommendations. It finally hit the threshold where we started to look at it today, which is your branding checklist, aka what makes your brand. And everyone's got a brand, a personal brand, a company brand. And that's not a branding, that's a whole different situation. Don't look into that. Let's begin. Branding checklist, aka first thing you got to do is got to define your brand. What are the values and belief of your brand? Are you, for example, very pro recycling? Are you pro kids? Or you, whatever values you seem to have, you're a conservative, whether it's that's political values, religious values, ethical values, naturalist values, aka you protecting the environment or not. Yeah, don't define what your values are. It's not difficult, that one. Next is identify your strengths, aka why people should invest in your brand. What have you done that is so brilliant that no one else has? Or what are you doing better than everyone else? Know your target audience. Who do you want to reach and how and where you're going to reach them? Let's talk about Old Spice, for example. We've all seen the adverts of the chiseled black guy, topless, doing several different things. Yeah. Basically, everyone thinks, oh, they're trying to sell to the young guy, but they're not. They're trying to sell to the old guy that wishes he looked like that guy. AKA, that's why their sales spiked between 50 and 70-year-olds. Those men like Old Spice, so that's why they choose it. Create your brand story. How do you tell people what you're doing, why you're doing it? It's not a very difficult concept. Basically, you just say to yourself, okay, what's our story? What do we tell people about us? Do we tell people that we started as a tiny little apartment, we were based in our mum's garage for 2 years till we got ready to have a big break in an office? Or you're going to stick very professional, saying that we've always worked in this office, it's gotten bigger and bigger, and we're doing bigger and better things? Or you're going to say that you're just a rags to riches, as I said before. There is many different ways to skin this particular cat, but make sure you choose the right one and stick with it. Unless you have a Volkswagen situation, then you want you to turn it round on its head and make it dance, because you're going to need it. Then if anyone remembers, they had the weird emission things about 10 years ago. No one remembers that anymore. Just saying, it works. Find your voice. What tone do you use to connect with your audience? Are you going the super professional route, or are you going to go in the slightly cooler route? Or are you going with the kid approach, you know? Are you going to go down to their level situationally wise? You've got to think who you're selling to and where you're selling. That's why when you see adverts for toys, they're on television. And they don't show you the price at all, they just show you kids playing, and that will get your kids to say, Mummy, I want this toy. Then they go to the shop, and you realise nothing is marketed towards the kids there. It's all towards the parents, about prices, 10% off, 20% off. Buy the whole collection today, get a 10% off. Get store credit once you buy this. It's not selling to the kid anymore, it's selling to the parent, and how much love and joy and fun their kids are going to have with it for a low price, but still good quality. You'll design your look. How do you represent yourself visually? Does your aesthetic communicate with your story and values? I want everyone to close their eyes who's listening to this, unless you're driving. Obviously don't then. I'm going to say a colour. I'm going to say red. There's two major brands that use red. That'll be Coca-Cola and Vodafone. Just when you think of that colour, you think of their product. Isn't that amazing? Some products just have that power. And then look at orange. They just take it one step further, just make it as clear as possible that they're orange. Doesn't say what it is, but still, Vodafone tells you what it is. It tells you, look, we're a phone company and we sell data, minutes and calls. Do you remember them things from the 90s? People used to call people. Yeah, strange that. And then you think of Coca-Cola. It's a soft drink that's been around for 120 years. And they are always selling to their target audience, which, believe it or not, is teenagers. Teenagers and people in their 20s, because they got sued for having it for kids, because it's not very good for kids. So, there you go, you've learned something else new today. And finally, be consistent. If your branding is consistent across all your platforms, all your audience is going to know exactly what to do. So don't have on Facebook you have a little campaign for 12-year-olds, then have a campaign on Instagram for 35-year-olds. Don't know what product that would be, but don't do that, because it looks weird and it's unprofessional and it's not linear. Basically, you're confusing people because no one knows what you're selling. I hope you've enjoyed this first part, and for the people who keep voting for listening to this, I hope you've enjoyed it. If there's anything I've missed out, as always, leave a comment. And now that's the end of part 1. Part 2 will be right up. Welcome back. This is part 2, and as we continue on our still best loved series, our TikTok series, where I have found amazing tricks, tips and everything else on TikTok, myself and the team have put this little collection together. This is part 7. As always, if you enjoy stuff like this, look back at some of our older episodes. We've got 6 other episodes that have it. It's generally every other one, so go and have a look. First one I'm going to talk about today is a little tech hack, which is going to rephrase any text that you've got. So say you're doing a project and you don't like the way a sentence sounds, but you don't know how exactly to rephrase it. So what you're going to go to is go to quillbot.com. That's quillbot.com. It rephrases any text. Worth checking that out. This is for all the men out there. These are little man tips that our team have put together of when you want to look presentable, when you want to go out on a date or see that special someone. So first things first, get your nails trimmed. Have a nail brush, basically so you scrub under there, get all that dirt out. Have a separate shampoo and conditioner because it's not brilliant for your hair. And now, for your lady friends who are coming over or people who need this, have menstrual products on hand. Just have a couple of boxes, a variety of different things. Don't have to look at it, you can just shove it in it, just shove it in the cupboard or put it in the bathroom and just have them to hand. Because you don't know how much that means to the people who need them. Okay, you also need facial cleansers. Basically, that it makes your face look better. And as most people coming out of their 20s and the post-acne age, they need doing. Try and do it at least once a week. Start your own skin routine, because every man needs to understand it's not a girly thing to look good. That's all I'm saying there. Get a facial sunscreen, aka a sunscreen that you put on your face more or less every day as soon as you go out. It doesn't matter if it's raining, doesn't matter if it's snowing, there's UV coming down. Don't ask me how. It seems to be more during the hotter times and during the sunshine. This is what I've been told by our wonderful team. So yeah, look into that. Get a tongue scraper. This one was a bit of an odd one to me, but apparently that's where most of the smell from your mouth emanates from. It's not your teeth, it's your tongue. So you don't take no every day there. And obviously floss and brush. And if you have a date, use mouthwash as well, because it's there for a reason. It works. And obviously go for any brand you like, but you know which one I'm thinking of. Okay, this is for the people that still want to go travelling but don't have the money or just want to go somewhere different. Instead of going to the Balearic Islands, aka Ibiza, Mallorca and Menorca, go to Montenegro. It's a beautiful country. And if you can't afford Phuket, go to Siargao. You want to go, instead of going to it's in the Philippines. Instead of going to Santorini, go to Hydra Island. Instead of going to Venice, go to Riga. Now that's a weird one. Why do you want to go to Riga? It's cold. Anyway, try it, I suppose. Next one. These are different financial things that well, to be fair, everybody should know these things. Everyone should understand compounding interest. The rule of 72, the 10-20 rule. How much interest you need to beat tax and inflation. And how much does your bank offer, basically? Because no one has ever been refused a better rate just for asking. Because the banks will do it because they'll know they'll keep you there by offering a better rate, but only if you ask. So don't be a schmuck and enjoy the 0.05% or whatever they're giving you. Go there. You might get more. You never know. The worst they can say is no. This is for these people who want to do a little voiceover hustle. Everyone needs a side hustle these days, and if you think you've got a good voice, go to this one. Go to voices.com/hire/voiceover. Then you can browse all the voiceover skills, so like languages, age, accents, etc., style, role, or voice rates, aka what you want to be paid. Definitely worth looking into that. So voices.com for your voiceover side hustle. Next, Another thing you got to understand is the price elasticity of demand. Okay, is it a necessity or a luxury, or is it addicting or habit buying? Is it a substitute? Is it branding? Is it income? Is it time? Basically, you got to understand if you're selling, why it dips and goes. For example, if you're selling Halloween stuff, you will not be selling a lot in April. If you're selling Easter stuff, not in November, unless people have got are really scared of the Easter bunny all of a sudden. Well, that's possible. And finally today, this was actually written by a close friend of mine who's now a digital nomad, aka doesn't live really anywhere. He just goes wherever the wind takes him, wherever it's cheap. And he's gone to 80 different countries so far. Isn't that amazing? It's the internet age where you can literally go anywhere and make money anyway. You don't have to be in an office anymore. It amazes me anyway. This is what he's told me. The vast majority of nomads and full-time travellers stay in basically these three places. Either Bali, because it's very cheap, Chiang Mai, because it's extremely beautiful and have great food, so he's told me, or Prague, because they have some good places in Prague, good tax reasons as well, so I'm told. Anyway, definitely worth checking them out. I hope you've enjoyed today. This has been Learning Left-Handed.